Hello, my name is Ian Nish, and I'm an adaptive phyconomist, a seaweed farmer. Adaptive phyconomy in tropical seaweed farms is an outstanding example of large-scale crop production developed from simple methods refined by farmers in the sea. Phyconomy is a branch of applied phycology. Phyconomy comprises systems of art, science, and technology applied to production systems that yield crops of algae. Marine phyconomy is mainly macroalgae and unmanaged flowing seawater. On the other hand, agronomy deals mainly with vascular plants in static managed soils. Adaptive phyconomy is a low-cost, low-control approach to seaweed farming. It is practiced where the biology of algal crops is poorly understood and/or where confounding variables render precision technologies impractical. Precision phyconomy is a high-cost, high-control approach to algal crop production. It is practiced where biology of algal crops is well understood and culture conditions can be comprehensively controlled. It's confounding variables that make adaptive phyconomy essential for ocean farming systems. For example, there are uncontrollable human variables, such as value chain issues and other factors such as vessels at sea that interfere with farming activities. Then, of course, there are uncontrollable weather and geology variables, including wind and waves and so forth, as well as tsunamis from volcanic activity. And finally, there are uncontrollable oceanographic and ecological variables that are endemic to all seaweed farms. The most obvious example is the constantly moving seawater that is difficult to control in farm areas. So phyconomists must adapt to it. Precision phyconomy involves high levels of control that come at high cost, while adaptive phyconomy involves low levels of control that come at lower cost, but with higher risk. A 10-point matrix for scoring the relative degrees of adaptive versus precision phyconomy is shown in this slide. For example, micropropagation in bioreactors is almost fully precision with a score of 9/9. But phyconomy of species new to farming is almost fully adaptive with a score of 1/1. Marine phyconomy of the eumetoids scores about 6/1 because crop biology is coming to be well known for these species, but ocean farm environments are virtually uncontrollable. High precision phyconomy in bioreactors, ponds, and raceways comes with high capital costs and high operating costs. Tropical marine phyconomy in ocean systems, for example, has low control at low cost, just one step beyond management of wild harvest. Phyconomy systems such as mechanized ocean farming and much temperate marine phyconomy are intermediate with respect to cost and control. Lack of capacity to undertake extensive phyconomy research and development in tropical ocean seaweed farms has resulted in a situation where phyconomists are figuratively drowning in a sea of untested hypotheses. Adaptive phyconomy resides in mindsets of farmers who rely on rules of thumb, evolved through experience from trial and error, also known as bricolage. The essence of precision phyconomy is results from rigorous scientific studies. Results are presented in peer-reviewed scientific literature or as information retained by scientific institutions. Phycotechnology based on such studies is implemented in commercial production systems. Principles of eukumatoid seaweed marine agronomy, now known as Phyconomy, were largely developed in the 1960s and 1970s by my good friends and colleagues Max Doty of the University of Hawaii and Vic Alvarez of Marine Colloids, Philippines. Principles and practices of adaptive management, on the other hand, were developed in the 1970s and through into the 1980s by my former thesis supervisor, Buzz Halling, and by a then young professor by the name of Carl Walters at the University of British Columbia in Canada. Adaptive management principles can be expressed in Phyconomy terms as follows. Adaptive Phyconomy is a process of dealing with uncertainty in the management of ecoscape crops and adjoining renewable resources. It is a process of treating human interventions in Phyconomy and ecoscape systems as experimental probes, and it incorporates research into Phyconomy initiatives and stewardship actions. Reflexive paths, otherwise known as bottom-up paths, build adaptive Phyconomy system structures and functions. This is important to understand because it is at the level of farm activities that adaptive Phyconomy takes place. So the adaptive phyconomist is both cultivator and innovator. How do these systems work? Well, the bricolage engine drives virtuous adaptation cycles that evolve adaptive Phyconomy systems. The farmer phyconomist monitors and manages farm units while providing crop care and keeping track of what other value chain stakeholders are doing. Bricolage is trial and error that uses energy, materials, and transaction paths that are readily accessible at ecoscapes where farms are located. Bricolage results in accumulated experience that evolves farmer phyconomist mindsets. And virtuous cycles of innovation and adaptation result in adaptive solutions used to refine Phyconomy systems. Knowledge, information, tools, and solutions, called KITS for short, comprise the intellectual property of Phyconomy systems. Knowledge is a product of education and intellect. Knowledge enables facts to be utilized, tools to be used, and solutions to be implemented. Information comprises facts that enable effective use of knowledge in developing or obtaining tools and formulating solutions. Tools are conceptual devices and physical implements used to devise and apply solutions. And solutions are the integrated combinations of knowledge, information, and tools that drive paradigm development in virtuous cycles of adaptation. Support providers and governance enforcers network kits among seaweed value chain stakeholders. Kits are shared among phyconomist and farmer mindsets through various means and media, and a variety of these is shown in this slide. A global community of scientists and development professionals bridges the gap between the adaptive and the precision sectors of Phyconomy. Precision phytotechnologies are steadily transitioning to adaptive Phyconomy systems. This topic is covered in a companion presentation to this one from my colleague at C6, Nelson Vadaseri. What follows is a set of examples that illustrate how evolving precision technologies may impact the life of future seaweed farmers and phyconomists. Biomass for propagules originating from precision phyconomy systems with reliable identification from molecular taxonomy are already beginning to have an impact on the industry. Simple machinery has long been used in Southeast Asian agriculture, and similar simple machinery will come to be used increasingly in seaweed farming, as for example the mechanized seaweed cutter shown here. Along with mechanization comes a requirement for advanced operational vessels such as the sea combine pictured here. Cost-effective technology for crop logging and monitoring ecoscape environments is already being utilized in the industry. For example, here a drone is being used to map seaweed beds in Bali. This is one among several technologies that are under development or already starting to be used that are appropriate for seaweed farm management. Global seaweed research results are increasingly available to farmers. An example is Jasuda.net in Indonesia, where farmers can network through a mobile application that is available to them 24 hours a day. Finally, optimizing farm management and business operations in the cryptocosm will be a reality in the foreseeable future. Thanks for watching this presentation, and we look forward to collaborating with you in the future.